All right, we back. We good. We solid. Yep, we good. We in there, right? So, what am I cooking? Right? We got some organic right here, cage-free eggs. You know what I'm saying? We got some you know what I'm saying? Uncured hickory smokes right here. Hickories right here. No preservatives. No nitrates or nitrates added. Uh, I'm about to enjoy myself with this one. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, consciously, right? Um, how can I say? I gotta avoid certain type of people that I kind of realize what I need to be doing. So, right? I come to realize that for myself, maybe not for others, um, I have to figure out a way to get away from. Some people say low vibrational people, right? I have to figure out a way to get away from poor minds, demons, if you ask me. Just being honest. I had, how can I say this in simple terms? I had a situation that happened, right? And it made me have a deeper understanding of what I'm around, so I can understand the environment, right? Now, um, everything plays the way it needs to play. The only thing that you really need to be paying attention to is the information and data of what you can extract out of the experience in order to put your mind into further knowing. The play, just being honest with you, with other people, is just my experience of what I'm experiencing. I don't expect people to play as they self, not 1%. I expect you to do something against yourself. I don't expect people to play as themselves in this time frame today. I don't. I'm gonna show you why. Pay attention to the setup so you can understand something, right? Let's say you have an individual, right? You see them, you approach, right? Now, when you approach, right, you want to get to know this individual. Now, this is the thing. The individual, right? When I approached her, okay, we started to have a conversation, right? And I'm gonna show you many a points of how someone doesn't know the technology of their mind, the things that are going on with them, right? And how they're being controlled. And they don't even know it, being honest. Most people are looking at it from the third dimension of how can I say, I guess a bait and switch. We were talking and so they start acting a different type of way, and then you think that it has something to do with you, and it has nothing to do with you at all. Okay? Let me show you what I mean. Give me 1 second. Doing a whole bunch of things at one time. Give me a second. Hold on. So let's go into the experience, and then after that, we will get to the data points, right, and the access of what we need to know. Okay. Now let's play the game, right? I see a girl, right? When I see the girl, I'm like, "Ooh, I want to approach that," right? I'm giving you the story from the third dimensional level, and then after that, we're going to go into a higher dimension of consciousness. Okay. So I'm going to give it to you from the third dimensional level so you can see the whole play. And then after that, once I start breaking down the play, this is where you start to gain your intelligence. Okay. All right. So let's get into it, right? So I see a girl, right? I approach her, right? No, 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 hold on. My bad. I see a girl, right? And I don't approach her the same day, right? I seen her, whatever the case may be, she seen me, right? Then at the next day, right, when I seen her, I approached her. I'm like, what's up with it? What's happening with it? You know what I mean? Give me your number, give me your name and number, right? So this is the thing. When we were talking amongst each other, The both of us said at the same time, right? What is your name? Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Let me show you something, right? Why did we say the same thing at the same time? What does that mean? Anybody can comment in the comment section. You're more than welcome. Why would two minds that are having communication, right, with each other, right? Why would they say the same thing at the same time? It's in front of your face. You're smart. Pick it up. Don't wait for me to give you the answers the whole time. The reason why that is because the mechanics of your mind are trying to work. The thoughts that you are having in that present moment is the information and data that is being loaded up to your conscious in order to put you in the know. Okay? It's not the guessing game. All right? All right. So, right? Why would two minds that are having communication with each other, right? Why would they say the same thing at the same time? Anybody have a comment on that? Anybody have a comment on that? Please stop being shy, people, with yourselves. Please stop doing that. Yes, please allow yourselves to actually express. The mind, you're in the way of the self from expressing. Back up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what's wrong with people sometimes. Okay? So let's get into the data real quick. See any data points? When you say projecting, right? Projecting what? Come on, it's in there. Let it out. Come on. I'm about to show you something so you can understand something again. Oh, what I got to know in this situation? Woo! No comment. Okay. So with that being said, both of them, the individual said what he said. He said maybe projecting from each other. No, no. What you have to understand is this: the minds, right, can be in connection for a split second, but the minds can also go back into disconnection. Do you understand? What I'm saying to you is this: if the individual has the mind of their self, right, and the both of our minds synchronize and connect within connection, within communication, are you going to allow the same character that's within you, right, that's within me, to play? Do you understand what I'm saying? What you have to understand is the individual that's speaking through her is herself. That's aligned with me. Thank you. What I'm asking is this: is she's going to allow that character of herself to play completely out? Because as I can see, she has a self, but it's being sheltered away. She doesn't see it. I'm not going to tell her. The reason why that is because of this. Watch. So let's go back into the third dimension of the story, right? Now, what happens is simply as this, right? She tells me, and I tell her at the same time, right? What is your name? Both our minds are aligned, which means that both minds want to search for information and data within each other in order to have a connection. Do you understand? Okay, right? So then after that, I tell her my name. I tell her my name is Y. Pay attention to the setup. She tells me her name, right, is Q. I understand with the technology of the minds, she's playing the same rules of what I just showed her. Okay? Which means that honestly, it doesn't look like you're playing as yourself. No. Okay? Because let me show you with the mind. When I tell you that my name is Y, that her mind went into, okay, he's trying to hide his name, so let me hide my name too. That just lets you know you're not playing as yourself. Setups. That lets you know you don't have to copy me. Before you met me, you were already copying yourself. Keep on doing that. Damn. It's easy like baby. So let's get into the data a little bit more, right? So I can show you what's really in store. Okay. So what ended up happening was simply is this. I told her, I said, yeah, um, I got your name. I need your number, right? She was like, yes, I'll give you my number. So this is what she said. Pay attention to herself, sir. Herself spoke 2 times, sir. Okay? Twice, and I caught it. Watch. Herself says, yes, it would be good for us to get to know each other. Pay attention to herself. Herself doesn't want to think about what I am, but only wants to know the actions of what I do in order to get to know what I am. That is herself. The other one that's on the other side is blocking herself. Do you understand? Okay. So I can hear herself within her, but the AI self is still in control. Let me show you, child. Okay? She's not understanding that herself, right, is using the third dimensional world in order to get to know her. Thank you. It has nothing to do with me, woman. It has nothing to do with me. You think it is because I'm in front of you. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with yourself on the other side. I can see it through you. I can see it, but she's gonna lose. You do know that, right? No, no, no. I listen. Every time when it comes to one of them, they always lose. This is why I bet on their losses because they're thinking it has something to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. Okay, that's where when you think everything is about the next person, you have an attachment to them. Thank you. You have an attachment. So let's get into the data a little bit more, right? So what happens is simply is this. I tell her I got your name. I need your number. She gives me the number. Remember what she told me. It'll be right if we get to know each other. Get to know. When you are getting to know someone, that means the technology of your mind is an open book, fresh new sheets. Understand? Which means that you're not taking the things from your culture and project it onto my culture. You don't know my culture. As a black woman, you think that I'm a black man. That's not what I am. The technology of my DNA does not say anything about that. Let's pay attention to the data points real quick, right? So I get her number, right? I went into reality to check upon her name to see if her name was actually cute. Come to realize I was talking to someone. I didn't have to ask them. This is just the laws of the universe, right? I didn't have to ask the individual about her name. They just naturally just told me. They was just like, "Oh, you was talking to because I'm not gonna say her name because she's in the past, right? You was talking. I mean, we're gonna keep her as Q, right? You was talking to Q, and her name. This is the reason why I don't want to say it because her name related to someone in the past. Thank you. Mm. You really in the game. I'm in the game. That's why I won't say it because they're trying to give me the memory. The Matrix is trying to give me the memory of someone in the past that I escaped a long time ago. With that being said, or whatever the case may be, right? One of the guys that I was working with, he told me her name. So I understood with myself, she can never hide anything from you. She can't. She can try it, but the universe and reality is going to reveal it. No problem. So I get her number. I walk away, right? When I walk away, or whatever the case may be, right? What ended up happening? 2 days went by. I didn't text her the same day. I didn't text her Saturday. I text her on Sunday just to see what's going on, right? So what ended up happening in this situation was that she I could tell that she wasn't operating as herself. Let me show you why I said that. Let me show you. As soon as I text her, she texts me back. I had no expectations. It's just a cell phone. I ain't got no expectations. People be busy. They be doing their own thing. She texts me. Well, I text her. She texts me back. What the first thing that she wanted to get to know as her AI self is if I'm an AI self as well. Let me show you the game so you can understand it. They're going to use it as a third dimensional world, okay? But that third dimensional world is going to reveal higher things about what they're really doing, okay? Pay attention to this because this is not normal, right? And if you ever have an encounter like this, you know what's going on. So, what simply happened is I text her, she texts me back. Then it leaded into her, we were talking about cooking, right? I asked her, I'm like, yo, Because when we was out, I ain't gonna say when we was out on the field doing what we need to do, work part, right? We went to a diner, and this diner has, many different things that they serve. So I asked her, what did you pick within the diner? She told me basically like, she was like, she don't eat out. So I'm like, if you don't eat out, why did you go in the diner? It's okay. Moving along, right? So this was the interesting part. She said to me, she was like, do you cook? I was like, yeah, I cook for myself. Then I asked her, I said, what did I say? Oh, I was like, I already know that you know how to cook. No way. When you know sales for what it is. This could be an AI self. I'm just trying to bypass this shit because I don't have time. If this is her AI self, I'm trying to get past this shit. Anyways, right? I don't expect her to be herself anyway. Anyways, um, right? Can I ask you a question? If I told you to make me a meal, pay attention to the setup. If I told you to make me a meal with just fruits, what would you make me? Pay attention. Understand that fruits have water, the information and data of earth, the information and data of sun. Okay? And there's another informational source that I would say is air. Okay? They're all natural elements. What you have to understand is if you want to know if you're dealing with a soul or a machine, souls install and receive the information and data from the sun. So the produce that you eat has solar intelligence within it. Only a soul would consume solar intelligence in order to keep the inner light bright. She told me, oh no, I don't eat any fruits or anything like that. And I would not make a meal. Pay attention to her AI self. Pay attention. She said she don't eat fruits. She would never make a meal with fruits, and fruits have too much sugar. The things that you eat that are non-produce, you know what they have? White sugar. White sugar is pretty much damn near processed sugar, right? So think about the tech. You're saying that you wouldn't eat produce or fruits based on the natural sugars that are within the produce? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. All fruit's gonna have a natural sugar source. You understand that, right? That doesn't mean that if you consume fruits, you get sugar diabetes. I never seen that before. I never seen that. So if you're gonna go with a third dimensional lie of I don't consume fruits, she doesn't consume fruits because they have natural sugar. Nah, that's not the reason why you don't consume fruits. The reason why you don't consume fruits is because of this. Watch. Then she asked me, this shit was funny as hell, bro. Then she asked me, right? That's Y Kruger in front of you. Okay? That's Y Kruger in front of you. Get that shit right. And furthermore, it says when you see Freddy, it says Frida Y. Okay? All right, have a nice day. Moving along back to my dimension. Right. More importantly, right? This was the funny thing about the whole situation. Um, she asked me after the fruit situation, right? She asked me, "Do you believe in God?" Can I ask you a question? You want to know if I believe in God, right? And I want to know, right, if you're consciously alive. You say, as a woman, right? You for God. How you for God and you eat no information and data that come from soul? Oh God, get me up out of here. No way. Get me up out of here. How you telling me as a woman, slow down, let me show you this as a woman. Come here. You from the Christian text, aren't you? As a woman in your Christian belief system, the woman is not the one designed to teach men. You're not designed to do that. The pastor is the only one designed to do that. So I know you're operating fake within your community, within your congregation. Because if I went to your pastor's going to say, no, he's right. No, he's right. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be asking him. You're not the leader of this shit. You understand? The pastor is the one that I guess anoints and whatever that they do. Right. As a woman, you don't have more intelligence than your pastor. So how could you come out and ask someone what their belief system is? You don't even have a belief system that's tied to a solar tie of the sun. So I understand with the technology of her, this is the AI variation of her that does not have a soul. Do you understand that? The third dimensional realm reveals a lot of things within the spiritual realm about individuals.
Golly. Let me see. Here we go. All right, let me see. Reports, and then harassment, and then this one. It'll give me all the evidence. Thank you so much. Um, this is funny. Someone said she is AI. She needs your information, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and finish right where we were at, right? Um, my bad. I'm still cooking at the same time. We lit. We good. We good. Let's get back, right? So let me get back on my triangle where I was at with the story, right? So what ended up happening was she ended up how can I say? Oh, okay. This is what we got into the text message. Remember, I had told you I had got her number. Got her number on Friday. I ain't text her Friday or Saturday. Around Sunday, that's when I texted her. It's a reason why I did that. Okay. I want to see if you have connection with the sun. God damn. That's why I texted her on Sunday. Okay. So what ended up happening was in that exchange was that she how can I say she decided to how can I say it in simple terms? She asked me, yeah, okay. So I asked her, do you know how to cook? She asked me the same thing. I told her, yeah. I said, if I told you to make me a meal with just fruits, right? What would you make me? She told me, this is what she said. She said, I don't, she said she doesn't mess with fruits in any type of way because on the simple fact, I guess, that fruits have too many sugars. Anyone can know that that is a lie because in the simple fact, if you eat, let's say you just eat, you consume just fruits, right? An individual has never got sugar diabetes off of natural sugars. The sugars that you buy in the store, right, are processed sugars. Thank you. The sugars of fruits are naturally designed by the plant. So what you have to understand is that these sugars didn't go through a machine. These sugars came from naturally from produce. So how is a natural sugar going to give you sugar diabetes? How can a natural sugar destroy the technology of your vessel? If that's the case, Mother Nature consciously knows if it's too much sugar, I'm going to take less of it out. Or I'm not going to put anything in because it's going to mess up the hardware of your vessel. Thank you. So that scapegoat was definitely not working. That doesn't work with me. What I started to understand with her is that when it comes to soul, a lot of people don't possess soul. So what you have to ask when you ask someone, do they eat fruits? It's not that they're eating fruits. That's not what you're really asking. You're asking if they are connected to soul. Understand that when it comes towards produce, produce has solar intelligence within it. When the sun, right, that is a solar variation of consciousness that projects solar information and data upon these fruits or produce of what you what's going on with it. electronics, right? So back to what I was saying, or whatever the case may be, right? Um, don't need people calling me right now, bro. I'm doing something, and you see what I'm saying? Get all the interruptions out of my world right now. Thank you so much. I'm teaching and cooking at the same time. Yes, and I got people interrupting me. Okay? Alright, thank you. Please get all those interruptions out. Thank you. They're not needed, right? When I'm calling them. Okay. So all those interruptions, get them out of the way. Thank you. Focus on. So that's what I was saying, right? When it comes towards produce, every time I keep saying this, right, for some reason I get cut off. I will call you later, sir. I'm not calling you now. Let me see something.
Go ahead and do this real quick. Because when I be teaching, I don't need people calling me. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Put it on do not disturb. There we go. And you could tell, I'm gonna say this, right? You could tell that it's not really important because of the watch. Someone said, you over here teaching, right? They over here, they send a text message, please call me, right? You call them back immediately, they don't pick up the phone. This is a game, bro. This is a game. They're afraid of what you're talking about. Thank you. Anyways, let's get back into the game because me, I have great memory. Understand? So I'll get right back into what I was talking about. Ignore everybody else for the rest of the day. Ignore everybody. Don't respond to nobody. Everybody's kind of acting like robots and computers. There's no way in hell someone just calls you, right? And you're telling me as soon as you call them back, they don't pick up the phone. That's a distraction. It's not important. It's not important. If it was important, guess what happened? They would have sent you an envelope and a letter in the mail, letting you know it's very important. It's not important. Ignore everyone. Everybody right now is trying to be in distracted mode. That's it. Okay. Ignore everybody. Okay. So back to what I was saying, right? Right here, right? Um, what you have to understand when it comes to produce, right? Produce has information and data of the sun. What you have to understand with the sun is intelligence. So when it projects, it is sending information and data from itself, which is the solar variation of consciousness. Understand? The moon is a physical variation of the consciousness. You understand? Okay, so when it comes towards the consciousness of the sun, right, what you have to understand is that you're receiving information and data from the sun. Now, understand that she said she was for God. If you are for God, that means that you are for the natural elements that can be installed and downloaded in the hardware of your vessel. Understand that this woman right here, right, she does not allow soul to be within. So let me show you, right? If you don't allow soul to be within, how are me you supposed to operate with each other? So, with that being said, right, how are we supposed to have a connection? This world, I'm telling you, they're afraid of what you're talking about. They're afraid of what you're talking about. I never seen your phone flicker backing off. I never seen people call you or none of that stuff. You're telling me right when you start talking about the sun, your phone is acting stupid and people are calling. Yeah, there's something going on. Yeah, it's got to be something. There's no way in hell that just happened to get you from what you're talking about. That's it. And then when you keep on talking about it, another distraction loads up. Yeah, this is not by coincidence. If I was doing something within the program, would the distractions come? No, the distractions wouldn't come because you're already within the distraction. Thank you. This is not a coincidence. You're telling me, pay attention to this. I'm talking about high tech information and data that most people never heard of, right? And someone calls. I call them back. They don't pick up the phone. That's a distraction. That's a distraction. Then after that, my cell phone flickers from YouTube back to the home screen. My phone never done that before. Maybe it's because you are doing something that someone wants us all to forget. That's what I can say. The distractions are not working. Back to the data points. Right. So, right, what I understand with her in the AI form of her is that she's looking for someone just like her. She's looking for someone that is consciously, right, unaware of themselves. She's not looking for someone that's consciously aware of themselves. Let me show you. Okay? Even in marriage, so you can understand. Okay? Now, let me show you how people are possessed. Okay? What you have to understand is that this girl told me, do you believe in God? Right? What you have to understand is that this girl is from the church. Okay? This is where she's from. Okay? Me and her are not from the same places. Okay? What I understand with the church is something that she could never understand. Okay? So, she's from a church based on the information and data of what I extracted from her. Okay? She's not a real entity or a real being. Okay? It's not. Any technology that doesn't possess soul, it's not real technology. Yeah, this is getting out of hand, right? So I guess being that you're talking about the moon, you're talking. I just want to let you know you're talking about the moon. Bro. She don't like them. She hates them. Okay. So what happens is she's getting upset because you're breaking down her conscious as a machine. That's what's going on in real time. Okay. All right. Keep on going. So what happens is simply is this. What I start to understand with her is that she projects right from the consciousness of the moon, but also she also has been installed with certain things from the church. I'll always tell you, the ones that don't possess soul, right, don't have access to higher dimensions of consciousness. They don't. They just have access to the third dimension and all the repeated rotation of that third dimension. It's the same play, right? They just try to play it a different way. But when you understand with your own pattern recognition, you understand the same pattern every time. See? All right. So, what I started to understand with her is that she's looking for someone that's where she's from. Okay? She's looking for someone that worships something outside of themselves. Okay? A woman that is from the Christian belief system has no power to tell anyone, okay, that's either within her congregation or outside of her congregation about God. That is a rule amongst the Christians that they have. Women are not supposed to do that. The only one that does that is either your pastor, right, or the ones that are underneath him. They can do that. But a woman, you're not supposed to do that. This is why you don't see a lot of women that are pastors. You don't see that because it says in their Christian text that what they're supposed to follow is that the woman is not the leader towards the congregation. You understand? So when a woman that's from a Christian belief system step outside her belief system and is trying
Like I'm busy doing what I'm doing. Don't leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered with people. I don't. I don't feel like that's the reason why he's coming over here. No, I don't want to be bothered. I don't. I don't want to be bothered by people at all. I want people to. I want to stay away from people. There you go. I don't want to be around people today, and that's what it is. That's the truth. At least you're expressing as yourself, bro. Like, cause I'm like, why are you getting aggravated? Like, I'm not. I'm not getting aggravated. I don't want to be around people today, and I have my days where I don't want to be around people. I just don't. And